Hey, what's going on, guys? We're going to talk about search engine optimization for accountants, bookkeepers, CPA firms, tax firms. This is whether you're a firm or if you're just like that solopreneur that's trying to build up their business. Accountants. Now go check out my channel. Well, you're on my channel right now, but check out Feedbackwrench. We do web design, paid ads, and SEO for small businesses. In particular, we love helping the financial services industry, and in particular, accountants and bookkeepers, but we do construction businesses. But before I had Feedbackwrench, I started and launched Nuance Financial Tax and Accounting out of Lakeville here, and just so that you can kind of see what it is that we got going, I'm going to talk to you about how to rank in search engines for your website here. So real quick, what I want you to know, we're going to talk about how many keywords, what are the most important keywords for accountants and bookkeepers, what are like the key phrases or the different search engine optimization terms, and I'm going to talk about how would you actually go about ranking for these, and we're going to get into some things. So the first thing that I want you to know is that there's 3 stages of funnel keywords, okay? And I don't want you to think about just specific keywords, just think about topics, right? So you have top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, and that's a sales funnel. So top, middle, and bottom. And on the top you have questions that you would ask when you're it's usually about your problem that you have. So like the tax difference between an LLC and an S Corp. That's a great top of funnel keyword that somebody would grab their phone and search about, right? How do you set up an LLC in Minnesota? How to convert to an S Corp in Minnesota? There's a whole bunch of top of funnel things. I'm not looking for a solution, but I have a problem. I'm trying to get educated about it. Those are top and middle of funnel keywords, right? And then the bottom of funnel keywords are accountants near me, bookkeepers near me, tax professionals near me, CPAs near me, all of those types of keywords. And let me show you something here real quick. This is probably the most important thing. I have a blog post called the SEO for Accountants and CPA Firms. Now we're hitting on SEO for CPA and CPA firms, accountants, search engine optimization for bookkeeping companies. And if you come here and you go to my blog, you can find this, right? The link is in the description of the video, but let me hit on something real quick. I did some simple research on Google paid search in a thing called the Keyword Planner. And I know enough of this because we do this for all sorts of customers, but what I'm showing you here is the keyword phrase that Google has. Now this is the exact phrase. I'm showing you exact phrase. There's about 100 iterations of each one of these that have tons of volume that it's not showing. So these are conservative estimates. The other part, this is national in the United States. So not Canada, but the United States. Okay? And what you'll see here is if you search accounting services, on average, there's about 12,000 searches a month. This graph is showing monthly keyword searches, and that's for sure. This is only for that exact phrase. Then you have accountants, have 91,000 a month. Accountants near me, 41,000. Bookkeepers, 60,000. Bookkeepers near me, 6,600. Bookkeeping services, 8,100. CPA near me, 61,000. Tax preparation, 40,000. And payroll companies. Now, all of these except for tax preparation are great keywords for small business accounting, right? So that means when you take a look at this, you have 327,000 searches a month occurring for take action, bottom of funnel keywords. In fact, here's the list. You can come in here. And here's what I want to show you. This is what bottom of funnel does. So bookkeepers near me, accounting services, right? Accounting services. Most of these are going to show what's called the local snippet. So let me just quick unbox this. You have paid ads, and look at this, there's 4 paid ads. Then you have the Google My Business, and then you have your organics results, okay? Here's what I'll tell you. We can use ads to show up here, but the primary thing that we have to identify is these bottom of funnel core commercial keywords almost all trigger the local snippet. And what that means is that your Google My Business can rank in about a 30-mile circle for these keywords, and maybe even more. Sometimes it's 50, 60 miles. If you're in New York in a high populated, really high density area, sometimes it's smaller. But here's how you actually rank. Now, Google wants, and I'm just going to cover this really quick. Google wants to serve up in search engines the most trustworthy, authoritative, and expert-based solution, right? It needs to know that you're worthy of trust. It doesn't just show off some random person. Well, there's a lot that goes into that. You have to have a good website. You have to have an entire footprint around you, good reviews. You need to have backlinks to your site. But what I found is that in Google My Business, your Google My Business profile, which is google.com/business, this little profile here, coupled with your overall SEO for your website, these two work in tandem. In fact, it says provides full service accounting. That's because that's on their website and it's been optimized in their Google My Business. I know this. They had abandoned a whole bunch of the principles that I had taught them, part of what happened. But what I'm getting at is these core commercial keywords can be won if you get more reviews than everybody else, and they're super important, okay? So you can win on those. That's the different types of keywords that you have, okay? Now, from there, what I want you to realize is that Google will do a number of things, and I just want to talk about what are the 6 foundations to actually have good SEO, okay? And I'll cut to the chase. You have to have a good optimized website first, okay? So you have to build an excellent website that's easy to use. That's the number one thing, okay? Number 2 is you have to get the most Google and Facebook reviews, and that's because when you show up in that Google My Business box, you need to have more reviews than everybody else. You'll close more deals, and I would say put those on your website as well. 3rd, you have to perform fundamental SEO on your website. That website needs to have good meta titles, meta descriptions. It needs to be fast. It should have alt image tags. It shouldn't have too many headers. It should have good fundamentals, okay? And we do that. Number 4, you need to write authoritative articles and content that solve relevant queries. So what I'm doing here, this is an example of an authoritative, good piece of content that's written. It's not thin. It's actually quite thick. This has everything you would need to know about SEO for an accountant. This is meant to rank for SEO for accountants. That's why this is here, right? And what I'm trying to do here, ironically, is this is a well-optimized article. It's skimmable. It teaches the truth. I link out to, like, this goes to Google. This goes to Google. I'm linking out to the most authoritative sources out there. I have a good mix of questions and queries. Everything's optimized for these questions. So you have to write good authoritative content. You have to write content on your website. Otherwise, you won't rank for very many keywords and you won't rank very high for them. Next, you have to promote the content so that people can consume it. If nobody reads your stuff, Google will never know if it's any good. Okay, so you have to use Facebook ads, some paid search ads to kind of jumpstart your your content. You have to get the content in front of people so Google can see that people like reading it. And then last, you have to attract backlinks and build authority to that article. This is probably the hardest thing to do. Now, we have a collaboration between scores of different accounting websites where what we do is, because we're writing for them, we can also write with you. But what you want to do is you want to be the source for other great pieces of content. Not only that, you want to produce content that when people look at it, they would actually link to because it's really helpful, right? So that's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to make sure that you do the fundamentals over time to win. And the idea is that you would have core commercial keywords that you'll rank high for, and then you'll also have some different pages that do really well. Now, this is a tool called the Search Console. This is, you actually hook up to Google's search engine, and we do this for you. But once you hook your website up to this, we can come in and find out what are the queries and the searches that are actually generating clicks for you. So this is over the last 28 days. You know, people are searching our business name. We have PageRank Checker, how to find B2B clients, drawbacks of entrepreneurship, multiple domains for one website. Those are all the queries. I'll just tell you, there's thousands of iterations of them, so it goes on and on and on and on and on. You know, each one's about one because it's counting it like discretely. But if we come over to pages here, what you'll see is that you can see that, you know, the multiple domains, should you have multiple domain names, got 520 clicks over the last 28 days. I've got 6 figures of 16 clients, got 201 clicks over the last 28 days. What happens when you like a review, how to share files with Google Drive. So I have all these blogs. Some of these are really good feeders for me, and some of them aren't that great, but this will show you what's happening. So we're going to make sure that we get you plugged into that. And then we'll also set up a really strong system for you to understand what's happening with your website, right? Now this is Google Analytics, and what you'll see here is we've got each page listed out here, and this is over the last, so June 23rd to June 29th. Here's my website, here's my accountant websites. This is my homepage, accountant website, webpage, multiple domains, 6 figures with 16 clients. And what you'll see here is this is how many page views, how many users, but look at this, the average time on page. All of the articles that I have that are ranking so high, look at this, 13 and a half minutes average time on page, 4.5 minutes average time on page, 17 minutes time on page. What you're seeing there is that people, and as I dive a little bit deeper, I've got some that are 18, 20 minutes, 17 minutes, 16 minutes. There are some big time on page, which is not typical. And that's because I have a commitment to really helping people see the light when it comes to my website. In fact, here's the should you use multiple domain names. This whole thing is about the best article about whether or not you should have more than one domain pointed to your website. It gets served up a ton. It's super helpful. It's clear to understand, and it creates results for me. I get calls on that all the time. So anyways, folks, if you're looking to do search engine optimization for your accounting firm, start with getting your Google My Business, your Google reviews, and then invest in content marketing. If you like the idea of doing it together, we can do that together. Otherwise, and that'd be the big thing. Don't settle for an anemic ClickFunnels website or a template from CPA Site Solutions, right? Those websites have very little advantage, particularly in search engine optimization, because they're filled with duplicate content. You have to have a unique page that it doesn't exist somewhere else, and it should have good fundamentals, it should look nice, it should actually engage with users for you to rank. ClickFunnels is cute to run lead magnets to, but it doesn't do a very good job at all over time, and it's really hard to set up and make look nice. And then the CPA Site Solutions or Accountants for Websites or some of these other template systems, you know, your site has the same content as like 7,000 other CPAs. It doesn't rank very high. Maybe your homepage will, but it's just almost in spite of your SEO instead of because of your SEO. So we'll get your website set up there. You know, I'll just hit on this real quick too. The other thing that you're going to see is that you have to have a services system in here. I'll hit on that later. In fact, that'll be the next video. Good luck. God bless. I hope things go well for you.